Feel most welcome. My name is Jeffrey Kerosi for Kerosi TV. Today we are going to look at a number of issues, but today the focus will be on human rights. This is a change from our normal strategy. So today we will basically focus on human rights. Do you know your rights? When people say, I know my rights, what do they mean? What do they mean when they say they know their rights? When you are caught by the police officer, you are driving, then you are caught, and your vehicle is parked aside on the side of the road, and then the police officer demands some bribe. Do you know what the law says? Do you know when you are in the wrong and when you are having mistakes or you are breaking the law? Do you know your right as a driver? Do you know your rights as a pedestrian? But today we will not focus on everything. We want to narrow our attention or our focus to women's economic, social, and cultural rights. Want to focus. Be focused. I know it is very hard to focus, or it is more interesting to talk generally about everything, but we will focus. Let us focus on women's rights, economic, social, cultural rights. We know that women are disadvantaged in the community. Their work lives are interrupted by caregiving. Sorry. What I was saying, their work life is interrupted by caregiving, child rearing, and then in most cases they are paid less than their male colleagues. This is a violation of women's rights, economic, social, and cultural rights. Sometimes when women go to school, they are harassed by male teachers and male students or fellow students. They lack adequate sanitation. For example, women need to have sanitary pads, and so they are largely disadvantaged or marginalized. So sometimes they also face gender stereotypes, which impact their work, education, and politics. Gender stereotypes affect or have an impact on women, on their work, on their education, and on politics. If we look at work, when women get to work, then there are some jobs where the others or the male counterparts tell them this is a job for men. So they are those jobs which are taken up by men. For many years or decades, we have been knowing that engineering jobs are meant for men. This is one of the stereotypes. So women go for jobs like nursing, jobs like cooking, jobs like cloth making or tailoring. But good jobs like medicine and engineering and legal profession are taken up by men. This is gender stereotyping. The same thing happens in politics. Women are expected to be in the kitchen under the old archaic laws and traditions. They are not expected to be in parliament, to be at the Senate, to be at the county assembly. So the stereotypes affect the women's entry to politics. The same case with education. Most women were not taken to school. Instead, their brothers could be taken all the way to universities, but women could be married off after Form 4, for example. That's stereotypes. As a group, women have less social, economic, and political power. We know as a whole, of course, there are outliers. There are those women who have a lot of money, so those that have economic power. But the majority of women have less economic power. The majority of women have less social power. They have also less political power. They're just some outliers. So this is generally the case, that women have less power politically, socially, and also economically. As a group, we're referring to a group. Women are affected Women are affected disproportionately. Women are affected disproportionately by economic meltdowns. So when the economy is doing badly, women get affected differently. Men sometimes can run away or avoid those economic bad times. There are several pieces of legislation at the international level which can be used to provide effective remedy where none is available at the national level. If there is no remedy in Kenya at the national level, then there is the international law which can be used to hold states accountable to provision of women's rights. Women experiencing multiple discriminations. We know that there are some group of women, especially women with disabilities, migrant women, racialized women, they face discrimination, multiple discrimination. They face discrimination for their disability. They face discrimination for the fact that they are migrants, or they face discrimination because of the race where they come from. So women face discrimination. Human rights are basically equal. There is no we have different types of human rights: economic, social, cultural, civil, political rights, all those rights. You cannot say this right is more powerful than the other one. All rights are equal. You see, it's non-discrimination and equality. States may not discriminate against women or groups of women in law or in practice. So states may not discriminate against women in practice or in law. Also, there is observation that women get discriminated in the place of work in terms of wages or earnings. So we say equal work should be compensated with equal pay. Forced labor and the trafficking of persons is illegal under the international law. So no one should force anyone to work as a slave. Forced labor and trafficking are illegal under the international law. Finally, we will talk about the right to education. Education is a key for full economic, social, cultural, and political participation. When you are educated, you can empower yourself economically, socially, culturally, and even politically. You can get easily into politics if you are educated because you know what to say. You also understand the political terrain because of education. Access to primary education is a core obligation under the international law. So basically, everyone should be accorded the right to basic education, that's the right to primary education. You should get educated at least up to class 8 here in Kenya. Class 8 is the final class in primary school. So when Kenya embraced free primary education in 2003, it was a miracle. It was the first time an Eastern African country was embracing free education, free primary education. Free primary education should be compulsory and free, the way they say free, with no strings attached, all over the world. Any country which does not provide free primary education should do so as soon as possible. So the right to education is recognized by the international law and also the national laws of many countries, including Kenya. Up to this point, I hope now you have a more understanding about your rights, your right to education, your right to healthcare, your right to equal treatment or equality, right to non-discrimination, and also we have looked at how we can use international instruments or international law to as a remedy where there is no law at the national level. Up to that point, I wish you the best. Until I see you in another video, goodbye.